For a while now, I have been using an alternative method to fire up my oven. Rather than begin with a big fire with the traditional stack of wood, I'm starting with a much smaller fire and gradually building it up from there until I've reached the temperature I'm looking for. So I'm going to begin by placing my andiron where I want the fire to be. And add some kindling. And just 5 or 6 small pieces of wood. Once the fire takes, I'll continue to add more fuel, a few pieces at a time, until the oven reaches the temperature I'm looking for. With this method, I find I use a lot less fuel, and I'm placing the heat exactly where I want it based on what I've decided to cook. On top of that, it creates a lot less smoke, and maybe that's important to you if you have perhaps some sensitive neighbors, or like me, you have a wonderful wife who gets very nervous when the oven generates a lot of smoke. It's been about half an hour and the floor is 375 Fahrenheit, that's 190 centigrade. The temperature I'm looking for is 500 degrees Fahrenheit or 260 centigrade in the center of the oven floor. There is a downside to this method. When I first started my fire, my dome was pretty clean from the last time I used it. But after around 10 to 15 minutes, soot began to appear on the dome. And starting the fire up this way won't generate enough heat to clear the dome the way a larger fire would. But if you're okay with that and the food still tastes great, then who's going to notice? While I'm waiting for the oven to come up to temperature, I'm going to take care of some important prep work before I begin cooking. So it's been just over an hour and the oven has reached the temperature I'm looking for. It's easy for me to put heat into my oven, but it takes a long time to bring it down. So I feel I have much more control of the temperature when I'm firing it up this way. And if I need to increase the heat, I can always add more fuel. Of course, if I want to put a lot of heat into my oven from the very beginning and get it to that 800 Fahrenheit, 425 centigrade range and above, like when I'm going to make pizza or something else that requires a high heat, then I will switch to lighting my fire with a large stack of wood. But if smoke really is an issue for you, but you still want to put a lot of heat into your oven, I think you can use this method starting in the center of the oven floor and then build on the fire a few pieces at a time until it reaches the temperature you're looking for. If you haven't already tried this method to fire up your oven, I really recommend you experiment with it to see if you find it as effective as I do.